What if your biological age and your actual age are completely different numbers? Scientists have discovered that most people over 40 are aging at the cellular level far faster than their birth certificate suggests, and the difference can be measured with something called telomere length. Here is what that means for you and why it changes everything about how you think about getting older. Every single cell in your body contains chromosomes, and at the tip of each chromosome sits a protective cap called a telomere. Think of it exactly like the plastic tip on the end of a shoelace. That plastic tip stops the shoelace from fraying apart. Your telomeres do the same job for your DNA. But here is the critical problem. Every single time your cells divide, those telomere caps get a little bit shorter. And once they get too short, the cell stops dividing, enters a state called senescence, or it just dies. That process is literally the biological definition of aging. Research published in The Lancet Oncology in 2013 by Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn and her team at the University of California, San Francisco showed that lifestyle interventions could actually lengthen telomeres by measurable amounts in just 5 years. That was a landmark study that rewrote what scientists thought was possible. Now here is where it gets alarming for anyone over 40. A 2019 study from the American Journal of Epidemiology tracking over 100,000 participants found that people with the shortest telomeres had a 23% higher risk of all-cause mortality. Not just heart disease. Not just cancer. Everything. 23%. And the shrinkage accelerates after 40 in ways that genuinely surprise researchers. Chronic psychological stress is one of the biggest accelerators. A 2004 groundbreaking study by Blackburn and Alyssa Epel measured telomere length in mothers caring for chronically ill children. The women with the highest perceived stress had telomeres roughly a decade older than their chronological age. A decade. Stress is literally stealing years from your cells. But sleep may be even more damaging. A 2021 meta-analysis in the journal Aging Cell pooled data from 35 studies and found that poor sleep quality was consistently associated with significantly shorter telomere length, independent of age. People getting under 6 hours per night showed accelerated shortening equivalent to 4 to 7 additional years of biological aging. Then there is sedentary behavior. Research from King's College London measuring over 2,400 twin pairs found that the most physically active twins had telomeres that were the equivalent of 9 years younger than their least active counterparts. 9 years of biological youth, just from movement. The good news is that an enzyme called telomerase can actually rebuild and extend telomeres. Exercise activates it. Specifically, a 2009 study in Circulation found that endurance athletes had telomerase activity roughly 2 to 3 times higher than sedentary age-matched individuals. Omega-3 fatty acids also matter. A randomized controlled trial published in JAMA in 2010 found that higher omega-3 levels in the blood were significantly associated with slower telomere shortening over 5 years. And a Mediterranean diet study tracking 4,676 women in the Nurses' Health Study found that higher adherence to Mediterranean eating patterns correlated directly with longer telomeres. So what are the 3 things you start today? First, move with intensity at least 4 days per week. Even 30 minutes of brisk cardio activates telomerase meaningfully. Second, get serious about sleep. 7 to 9 hours is not optional, it is cellular maintenance. Third, reduce chronic psychological stress using any evidence-based method, because that one is stealing biological decades you cannot afford to lose after 40.